is these changes that I've made, and I'm going to show you how they impact the NG Bell Intact IQ. So we're in a sales order screen at the moment, and when we add the sales order screen, we choose a customer. It doesn't matter which customer it is. I've been using Mr. David Adams, whoever he happens to be. Putting in a customer reference number in here gives us the ability to put in a reference number. I'm also going to put in a branch just because I'm an administrator. You don't have to put that in because it automatically will assign to the branch that you're assigned to, but as an administrator I'm not assigned to any branch. And there's only one branch anyway, so it's not like it matters. And then we put in the product that this sales order is looking for. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, so that comes up with one of these items by automatic, and we have everything else is good on the order, nothing else spectacular. That's the delivery address, delivery details, all the stuff that's there within that as well, so we can put in delivery instructions, etc. If I press save on that, it's going to come up with an error message saying that I have to have a sales rep, because again I'm not logged in as a sales rep, so I'm just going to choose somebody, which again doesn't really matter. And this time when I press save, I'm going to get a message on the screen, and the message says, if you would like to pick this via handheld, please change to yes. Do you see that?
Uh-huh.
If I change it to yes, that means that it's going to go through a brand new and different process. If I leave it to no, it's not going to do anything to the handheld, and it's not going to create a picking note. Is that alright?
Yeah.
When I press continue, it now says, would you like to print a works order? Which I can print, or I'm going to choose no because I'm not connected to a printer. And that then is the completion of that order. Yeah. Alright? Now, when that order is completed, you will see that this order now has a status of picked, or at least gone to pick, if that makes sense. Yeah?
Huh?
If I look at my picking note, I can see that this is the order that it's gone to pick, and it's active in pick. So that's how we recognize whether it's gone to be picked or not. Now,
yeah.
I'm going to close this down, and I'm going to now open the handheld unit, and I'm going to pretend I'm opening the handheld unit on my little handheld thingy there, and I put in my username and my password. By putting in my username and my password, it now checks the license and it opens up the mobile warehouse screen for me. Now you got to imagine this is on your handheld device that's in front of you. And there's a few areas that are specific in here. So for example, we can do a stock inquiry, which means that we can look up the product that we're looking for. We can press yes on that, and it shows us a code, it shows us the primary bin, it shows us how many sales orders, what our stock level is, etc., and our effective level based on that individual product. It allows us to do stock adjustments within the individual product as well. So we can go in and we can choose to do a stock adjustment, adjusting it into a specific bin or out of a specific bin based on the details that we have, and it looks then for the quantity that we're going to confirm or otherwise. So +1, -1, whatever that is with regards to a stock adjustment. That means that people will be able to create a stock adjustment on the system. Not going to do that, but that's what it is. We can assign a barcode, which means that we can go into a product, we can scan a brand new barcode that is relevant to the individual product. By pressing continue, we can identify what type of a barcode it is, so it's a supplier barcode, and then we can assign the product to that barcode. Too many trees. and that assigns the barcode. If we go back into the IK system and we look at the product, the stock product, and we go edit on that, there's a barcode line inside here which shows you the barcodes that are applicable to it, and you can see there I've got 2 of these barcodes that I've been messing around with. That's the 888 one that I have within that system, so that applies to that barcode for that product, all done via the handheld. Is that okay? So you got visibility on that. The next area is that we have a stock bin transfer. If you want to transfer a product from one stock bin to another, or from one area to another, so you can go in and you can say which stock bin you want to transfer from and which bin you want to transfer from. So it's going from the loft to a different location, from stock bin loft to stock bin wherever it is, open yard, and we then choose the product or the details of that product that we are transferring it to. Does that make sense? So we transfer from one to the other. So it gives us the ability to manage those as well. We have a stock take. When we have an individual stock take, we can enter the items dynamically on the stock take. I'm going to send you a separate video on that. Is that okay? Yep. The next area is the sales picking. Now when we go into the sales picking, we now identify which picker we're in as. And we can press continue, and what this then does is it says, here's my picking notes, or here are the picking notes that are applicable to me. So these are my picking notes, and you can see the SPN0011, which is the one that we've identified, and we can say that that's the one that we're picking and we're selecting, and it's now looking for this product to be picked. It gives us a description, it gives us the order number, it gives us information that's relevant to it. We can select this and then we can put in however many that we're picking. Or we could scan it and it will tell us, and we can put in however many that we're picking. We type in the number that we're picking, or if it's a case of 1, you just press continue. You can identify which stock bin it's coming out of, so that you can say, oh, it's not coming from the regular stock bin, it's coming from a different stock bin. You can do that as well if you want to. And by pressing continue, what it does in the system is that it completes the pick note and creates a delivery note. Well, we're continuing on here. That completes the quantity required, and that then will generate the pick note completed. We press, so we continue on for the system, so we've done that, and then press cancel, and then at this stage we either mark the picking completed or we suspend it. If we mark it as completed, status will be set to picked. We click yes, and that will, in the system, if we go back into our system now and we go to our picking note, it identifies that as being picked at the back end of the system, and from here then we can create our delivery notes if we want to, based on customer account, delivery document for discount. Anyway, we picked a dodgy customer, but the idea being that it will automatically create the sales delivery note on the basis of the pick being completed. Okay? Now, the other things that we can do on the handheld device. Get it up now in 2 seconds. So that's our pick mode. Right. We then produce goods inwards. So on our goods inwards screen, you can choose by number or by status. You can choose by the specific number. We can choose by the active status of the products that we have, choosing the item that is relevant. We can put in a supplier reference number, which is the delivery note number that is relevant to that individual customer. and then it tells us what the delivery note line is. So we can select each line one at a time, we can say which stock bin it's going to go to, and we can put in how much we received. So outstanding is whatever that is, and we can put in either short or accurate or whatever it happens to be within those individual areas. If we put in different lines, and we put in, for example, that we got 20 of these instead of 12 as expected, you are supplying more than the quantity remaining. Do you want to continue? You click yes on that, and it will update the quantities and the amounts automatically. Does that make sense? So these can all be done on your handheld device.
The only problem I see there with the delivery note, those there examples are timber.
Yes.
And it's asking you this total outstanding 11.8272. Is it then allowing you to put in a breakdown of lengths?
No, it's expecting the outstanding to be 11.8272.
Yeah, but in the background that would have been created by 200 lengths of 4.8, 200 of 5.1, 200 of something else.
Yeah, but this is just confirming.
Not
this is just confirming the delivery note line. So when you're booking these into delivery notes, it will be, that's the purchase ordering quantity. So it's expecting this. This is what it's expecting, so that the people who are booking them in can confirm it. It will translate that to being the linear length or to be the stocking quantity once you press confirm on the correct amounts.
Okay.
So I'm going to press cancel now because I don't actually want to. I don't want to deliver that in. And that's what we've built on your handheld device so far. Now what you need to do is you need to test it and look at it and make sure that it is accurate and it is convinced with regards to the system. Is that okay?
Yep.
Each user in the system has their own login, or you can have what are called handheld logins as well, which give visibility just to the handheld units that are there.
Okay.
And now the other issue as well is the users. So these are the users that we have here. We don't want to count disabled. So we want the non-disabled. Right. The only thing is that if we go into, and I'm going to pick yourself as an example, we now have in here the ability to have a default picker. So you can be set to be a default picker so that when you log in, it will only open your picked items. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the default picker is set for whoever is logged in as the correct person, but you need to set that, or you can have different pickers set up as part of the system.
Okay.
And that is our little training session on it. The handheld devices, you need to open the handheld device, you need to log in to press the IQ button on the handheld device. The IQ button will be a remote desktop connection into the individual lines, so that gives you visibility within it and allows you to manage and access the handheld mobile warehouse depending on your logins and your abilities. So everybody is set up within that as well, so that you've got the visibility there. I've created it on this so that this is just a shortcut to that individual area as well. Obviously, it's just like logging into the main system in so far as that you got your username and password and your login details, and allows you to access the individual lines that you have on those individual areas as well. Just trying to get it up again. So it opens up the individual mobile warehouse. So the connection, then you can connect into the different companies or the different groups that you want to log into. So in this case, we've all the work done on the UK site. You put in your password, click the Remember Me button, and you log in, and that then gives you access to the custom menus that I have created and done.
Tell me this. When you're in the handheld,
yeah,
it's coming up at the minute, stock and their actuals.
Stock.
How do you get it to go back in the menu part?
Okay, so 1 second now. Is there a red button up in the top right hand corner?
Yeah. It says exit intact.
2021. 1 second. So when I'm logging in, so this is what you saw when you logged in, yes?
Yeah.
So when I did my stock take entry actuals, this is this what you mean?
Yeah.
And if I just click on if I go to a stock query, or if I go to anywhere within the mobile warehouse, and I click the red button on the top right, it will bring me back to this main menu again. Is that okay?
Yeah, just I'm not seeing that on this side.
So if I log into any of the individual items and I'm not happy, there's a cancel button, or there's a button on the top right that brings you back to your main menu. You might log out and log back in again because yeah.
We've got stock take, stock adjustment, stock inquiry, stock bin transfer, but we don't have to create a purchase order or purchase requisition on that list.
No problem. I'll add those on. So purchase order. Do you want them to create a purchase order or a purchase requisition?
Well, at the minute we're on a purchase order is the way we're doing it, but I think if the mobile, I was led to believe on this mobile warehousing, you had to have a purchase requisition, and then from the purchase requisition list,
it's much safer. It's much safer to create a purchase requisition because it allows somebody to have a look and to check and see whether stuff is already on order or what the situation is. So I'll add a purchase requisition on there as well. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I'll do that.
I'm on the handheld, and if I hit the red X in the top corner, it's not bringing me back to the main menu.
Okay, I'll fix that as well. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Remember, I was trying to make it look a different size on my area here. I think that might be something to do with it, so best bear with me. It wasn't fitting. It's fitting the screen. 800. Can you log out of the mobile warehouse and log back in again, please?